Are you ready to take a daring and thrilling journey through the hip hop world? Because today we are going to be looking at the 5 best and worst albums of 2023 so far. Despite not being the absolute whirlwind of creativity and excitement that 2022 was at this point, 2023 has been a year that has given us a ton of beautiful records that everyone needs to hear. The problem is that it has also given us some of the worst and most embarrassing albums of the last decade. From superstar collabs to some of the most creatively bankrupt and lifeless pieces of trash that I have ever heard, 2023 has felt like a massive tug of war when it comes to the quality of music coming out, and nobody knows who's gonna win. Without further ado, get ready for an exhilarating ride as we navigate the highs and lows of 2023's album releases. We're going to discuss the ones that made us hit that repeat button endlessly, and we are also going to talk about the ones that left us dead on the floor. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Starting with the bad albums, for the 5th worst of the year so far, we got Don't Try This at Home by NBA Youngboy, and quick piece of advice, don't try this thing at all. NBA Youngboy is a rapper that for all intensive purposes has made the same album over and over again for about 20 straight albums at this point, and this record just embodies the worst parts of his music. First off, it's his 3rd album in a 5-month span. That is just not normal, but even worse, this project is his longest ever at 33 songs, and it has no rhyme or reason to it. Youngboy just delivers lifeless song after lifeless song, and sitting through this album for 1 hour and 26 minutes might as well be a government form of torture, because NBA Youngboy's gross rapping and lazy, lifeless, and you know what, miserable performance makes Don't Try This at Home not just one of the worst albums of 2023 so far, but one of the most generic and derivative in the genre's history. Coming in number 5 for the best albums of the year so far, we got Amine and Kaytranada's Kaytramine. Now, before you listen to this project, you gotta ask yourself one question. Do you like to have fun? Now, if you said yes to that, then this is the perfect album for you, as Amine and production mastermind Kaytranada put together one of the most creatively refreshing experiences that I have heard in quite some time, and after some of the garbage projects that we have heard this year, it is a much needed palate cleanser. This record is filled to the brim with charisma and charm between Amine's witty performance and Kaytranada's intricate soundscapes. The way this duo was able to embed the breeze of a summer day into a track like Rebook, or the vibrance of this time of year on a track like Forever, is pure genius, and it only makes Kaytramine even more of a surreal experience. For being an album perfectly crafted with elaborate soundscapes, charming performances, and just most importantly, amazing vibes, Kaytramine is an easy lock for this list. Now, going back to the bad stuff, we got Trippie Redd's Mansion Music at number 4, which, in all honesty, is one of the most pathetic outings from an artist that I have ever seen. Let's just put it into perspective. This album is one of the biggest failures that I have ever seen in the history of modern hip-hop. This record featured Chief Keef, Future, Lil Baby, Juice WRLD, Travis Scott, Lil Durk, Lucky, Ski Mask the Slump God, G Herbo, DaBaby, Lil B, Kodak Black, and many others, and despite its star-studded roster, despite being one of the most star-studded records in quite some time, this record is terrible. Oh my god, this thing is horrible. This album should have been a layup for Trippie Redd, and it's just the complete opposite. His performance is more daunting and unrefined than ever, and the entirety of the record just feels so lazy and lifeless and phoned in. It hardly strays away from the formula that made Trippie Redd special in the first place, but the reason why the record fails is because on a fundamental level, none of the passion and none of the care to build a record with some semblance of a feeling, of a coherent sound, any sort of coherence, none of that is there. Trippie Redd is simply running through the motions on this project, slapping big name features on, hoping that it will make it sell and it will be enough to trick fans into liking this thing, but guess what? Nobody fell for the trick that was Mansion Music, and looking at its legacy, it's gonna go down as one of the biggest fumbles of a project that has ever existed. Coming in number 4 for the best albums of the year, we got Lil Yachty with Let's Start Here, and wow. This record was one of the most mind-blowing projects that I have ever heard in my lifetime. As soon as I listened to the intro track, The Black Seminole, I was instantly hooked, as I was brought into a world that was truly like nothing else that has ever existed in the music space. Lil Yachty taking the leap of faith into psychedelic rock, it was a risk that ended up paying off so well for him, as this record is not just his most out of the box and boundary pushing, but it is also his best. From the intricate and layered instrumentals which evolve and progress throughout each song into these epic rock opera like ballads, to his vocal performances which just blow you away. Yachty's entire skill set thrives in this environment, and the fact that the guy that made Lil Boat also made a record like this just goes to show you that he has always been a premier talent in the music world. Lil Yachty, keep doing amazing things. As we finish talking about a great album, we now have to talk about a terrible one, and for the third worst album of the year, we got NF's Hope, and oh my god. I'm sorry guys, NF is just a joke. NF's entire brand is centered around being original and standing out against evil mumble rappers, but while trying to make this his brand image and identity, NF ends up being more generic, tired out, and cringe than any other rapper who is making trap music or quote-unquote mumble rap could ever. Every NF song pretty much just goes the same way. There is some overly dramatic instrumental which just builds up the stakes way too high, and it does not fit the rest of the track. It builds up this super high tension, this overly dramatic feel which just feels so inorganic and forced, and then NF comes in and oh my god, the way this dude raps is just terrible. His flow sounds like he's yelling and whispering at the same time, which just creates this never-ending void of tonal inconsistency, and he does not say anything original or of value at this point in his career. So, all in all, Hope shows us that NF is at the cringiest and corniest he has ever been in his career, and I really would not even recommend this thing to my worst enemy. Please, whatever you do not listen to this thing. Coming in at number 3 for the best albums of the year, we got Larry June and The Alchemist's The Great Escape. Teaming up the wise and relaxed Larry June with one of the greatest producers of all time in Uncle Allen the Chemist, it was such a genius idea that pays off so well. This record is a perfectly put together, perfectly sequenced experience that flows like a nice breeze on a warm summer day. Larry June offers so much as an MC, both in terms of his chill demeanor, but also in terms of his subject matter. He uses his knowledge, platform, and life experience to give advice to listeners that no other rapper would ever talk about. He talks about how to take care of your head and your mental state in a very subtle way. Talks about finances, how to take care of your health, and it's just all such an interesting perspective to offer up in your music. Now, the record is able to feel so smooth and so relaxed because Larry never preaches to you. Instead, he feels like the musical equivalent of a cool uncle. He's always there to have a good time, but he's going to sprinkle in some powerful pieces of advice during your experiences with him. Between Larry June just being the most awesome MC on the planet, the features including Joey Badass, Action Bronson, Big Sean, Ty Dolla $ign, and many others who deliver great performances, and of course, The Alchemist's one-of-a-kind performance, which obviously features his great production, but also includes him rapping in certain instances, like on the track 60 Days. The Great Escape is a phenomenal album that embodies everything that a rapper-producer combo should be. Now, for the second worst album of 2023, we got Lil Pump 2. Now, really with this album, everything that J. Cole said on 1985 has fully come to life, as Lil Pump gives one last try to stay relevant in the limelight, and he just fails, man. This record doesn't even make me angry, it's just so embarrassing that you kinda pity Lil Pump. This record is just straight out whack. We are watching a rapper at the brink of irrelevancy, chasing those last bits of clout, and nobody gets invested in this thing. We are watching a rapper at the brink of irrelevancy, chasing those last bits of clout, and instead of running up to them and catching them, he stumbles over, falls, trips 100 times, and never gets back up. Lil Pump's sound is a fossil of an era that we are no longer in and no longer are interested in hearing new things from. The tides of hip hop's mainstream sounds have shifted, and when you are dependent on the success of a popular sound and trend, not being able to pivot into something new kills any chance of an artistic reinvention. Instead of showing off something new, we get more of the same for 16 songs and 40 minutes, and while once funny and intriguing at the least, Lil Pump's borderline illiterate style of rapping is something that nobody wants to hear in 2023. We're supposed to be better than this at this point. This is just a fossil of a record that nobody is interested in, so for just being a complete and utter piece of garbage, Lil Pump 2 is the second worst album of 2023. And at number 2 for the best albums of 2023 so far, the runner-up to the mid-year album of the year, we got Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia's Scarin' the Hoes. And just a quick disclaimer, if you have a significant other, do not play this around them. It will scare the living piss out of them, and you will probably be alone forever because of it. But when you're by yourself, if you want to listen to a record that is just as charming and fun as it is chaotic, this is the perfect body of work for you. Abstract and experimental hip-hop titans JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown come together, and it's a match made in heaven as they just figure out how to convey sheer and pure chaos in their music to the maximum. That is the best word to describe this record, just pure and unrivaled, unbittered chaos. Even aside from the boisterous factor of this album, there are genuinely beautiful moments like the distortingly soulful Kingdom Hearts with Red Veil or Heaven on Earth. Looking at Scaring the Hoes, yeah, if you throw this on the aux, you're clearing out a party and you're gonna have no friends, but that's the point. It's a vision between two of the most ambitious rappers of our generation, and they make this album unapologetically them, and this is what allows it to just be such a fun storm of experimental hip-hop greatness. And finally, we have made it to the worst album of the year, and right now in music, we have some major problems, and the record I'm about to show you guys embodies the worst of them. This album embodies the peak of the music business's corporate greed and desire to milk anything for its last penny. A record that disregards all other factors of music for making a quick buck. A record that serves as a brand extension and advertisement first and art second. The worst album of the year is
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper.
Okay, alright. I know that this is a hip-hop centric list, but to my defense, Burger King has collaborated with Lil Yachty before. He's a rapper, so technically they are in the hip-hop ecosystem, but really, I had to violate the Burger King You Rule jingles. I mean, this is something that people are listening to. 400,000 people a month are tapping into this project, and the crazy thing is about this record, it's a 6-song project, with each one of the tracks being a Burger King ad jingle. Okay, now, inherently this isn't a problem. You want to post your advertisement songs on Spotify, make a little money, promote the promotion, cool. The problem I have with the Burger King album is that when you listen to this project, the songs are just looped versions of the jingles from the commercials. Take the track Chicken Chicken. It goes through the original jingle, pauses it for about 2 seconds, and just repeats it until it hits the 1-minute mark. I mean, damn, Burger King. I can't do this with a straight face, but for real, Burger King is playing the streaming game right now. We really live in a time and a place where in the music landscape, Burger King is playing the streaming game now. I mean, you couldn't have just mixed the songs to make them a little longer or had somebody go in and just make a longer extended versions of the jingles. You really had to cut that many corners to exploit the Spotify system for profit? Listen, for this reason, I couldn't let this slide. The Burger King You Rule EP is the worst record of 2023. So that got weird very quick, but we are finally back on track, and we are here to now see the 2023 halfway album of the year. But before we can reveal what the number one record is, I want to look at some honorable mentions. First off, we got Metro Boomin's Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack, which is an amazing and star-studded experience that complements the Spider-Verse film so well. I mean, everybody from Nas and JID to 21 Savage and A$AP Rocky are on this project. It's awesome. The next project I want to look at is the Roots frontman Black Thought's Glorious Game, which is a fantastic jazz rap record which features some amazing storytelling and is overall a great record for anybody who appreciates the art of lyricism. Ice Cold Bishop's debut album, Generational Curse, is great. This kid is up next. From the style to the themes, there is so much going on in this record. Check this one out. Underground Mastermind, Billy Woods Maps is a lyrical masterclass. If you like the underground, if you want to scare the hoes away, listen to this record ASAP. And the final honorable mention goes out to the one and only Navy Blue with his poetic masterclass, Ways of Knowing. And with that all out of the way, the best record of 2023 so far is The Estate Sale by Tyler, the Creator. Serving as an 8-track B-side project to Tyler's 2021 Grammy-winning headline touring album, Call Me If You Get Lost, The Estate Sale is a record that builds on the success of a great album in ways that manage to be truly innovative and beautiful, and it stands on its own as a great project. Tyler's attention to detail is just unmatched. From a bridge to a background vocal, each aspect of The Estate Sale is executed to perfection, and this is where it gets its excellence from. We see all sides of what makes Tyler the Creator. We see him as an MC, we see him as a singer, a producer, and an artist. From a track like the in-your-face and insane stuntman with Vince Staples to the love-fueled Wharf Talk with A$AP Rocky. While these tracks are amazing and give us more of what we love from Tyler, what really makes this project stick out and get to this point in the list are the tracks that open us up to new parts of Tyler that we have never seen. Whether it's a more simple track that just depicts the lifestyle he lives now in a super real and honest way, like on the Madlib produced What a Day, to a song like the Kanye West produced Heaven to Me, which shows Tyler rapping about his dream life as a kid, his dream life in the present, and his dream life in the future, Tyler gets so creative with the rapping and even with the instrumentals on this record. It is just so amazing, and it truly does deliver us some of his most dynamic and some of his most cutting-edge performances yet. Now, topping all of this off, the final track of The Estate Sale, Sorry Not Sorry. It steals the show as the heart-stopping, tear-jerking piece that is the payoff and finale to the 7-project-long story that Tyler has been telling from Bastard to Call Me If You Get Lost. You'll have to wait for a future video to find out if I think that Sorry Not Sorry is Tyler the Creator's best song, but right now, it is the best song that has dropped in 2023, and it ties together The Estate Sale into such a strong body of work that stands on its own 2 feet as the best album halfway through 2023 so far. Do you agree with my list? Let me know everything in the comments below. If you've made it this point in the video, you are an absolute legend. I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Hit that like button too. They are both free to do, and it helps me out a ton. And again, if you're at this point in the video, I know you'll want to see more. Now really, thank you so much for watching. You being here and watching this video, it means everything to me. If you haven't seen my previous videos, check them out. Check out what they're recommending you, because everything that we make is a banger. I seriously love you so much for watching this video. Mr. F, Fantastic Hip Hop, signing out. Have a great day.